Hello Tacticians, it's Nox here, and today we're actually going to look at the Incursion event itself. But before we go into that, I'm going to go back to my usual thank yous, and today they go to Maestro135, Slaughter, Don of Dons, Sir Clifford, and You Gonna Eat That? All of you have used my friend code, and it is very much appreciated. So thank you once again. So when the Incursion event first starts, you'll see this. And by clicking on it, it's going to welcome you to the Incursion. This recurring event lets you unlock and gain resources for one of the available machines of war. After you've chosen a machine, you'll be able to fight a multiple series of 15 battles that get tougher as you progress. Watch out, damage and defeated characters carry over between battles. Choose wisely because each machine only allows certain factions to be used in battle, and the choice is final for the duration of the current event. Now, what you can do, you can kind of see which factions can and can't be used. So for the Malleus rocket launcher, you get to use Xenos. For the Forge Fiend, you get to use your Imperials. And unsurprisingly, for the Biovore, you'll get to use your Chaos characters. So this is yet another layer of consideration you need to take into account. You may wish to, say, go for the Malleus rocket launcher, but unless your Xenos are up to scratch, you're not going to get maybe as far as you'd like to. Probably the easier out of the two, assuming you have the healers, would be the Forge Fiend, because of course with your Imperial you've got Isabella and Incisors, and if you've got Rotbone, obviously that will make the Biovore a little bit easier. For the Malleus rocket launcher, the only real healers we have are within the Necron faction, so if you've got your Necrons leveled up, you should be okay there. And if you want further details about what each of these do, I've actually got individual videos which go in explaining how they work. So I'm going to choose the Forge Fiend here. And now you've got the confirmation. Confirm your choice. So it's a double opt-in. You need a minimum of 3 eligible characters to play the Machines of War Incursion event. But more is obviously better. And you can actually verify your characters once more. But we're going to click Begin. Once you have chosen, you'll see there are a number of tiers. 14 of them, in fact. And if you are so inclined, you've got bundles that you can purchase. One of them will increase your shard payouts, and the other 2 will give you resources to improve your Machine of War once you have it unlocked. So as you can see, I've got tier 1 here, and I can start the run, which will use one of my tokens, and as you can see down here in the corner, I've got 2 out of 3 available as it starts. And by scrolling up to the top, you can see you've got 15 battles, which go all the way up to Iron 1. So if we start the run, uses one of our tokens, and begin our battles, you'll see, just as in the quests, ours are capped to Iron 1. So don't think this is going to be an easy ride just because all of your characters are Diamond 3. As such, I would recommend using characters who can be healed or are healers themselves, such as the Astra Militarum, or maybe include summoners such as Yarick and Celestine. The reason here is obviously if your characters don't get injured in the first place, they're not going to take damage, and you can carry on using them. Even if you use an ability in one battle, it will be available to be used in another. So don't worry that you're using all your summons in one go. And the rewards will show you exactly what you're getting, very much like the quests do. Once you've completed one battle, you can then move on to the next. It's important to note this doesn't use any more tokens, as the tokens are only used to start the tier. And as you can see, I can use Yarick's ability to summon in the troops yet again. And indeed, Celestine will summon in her summons as well. As you progress through the missions, you'll get more and more shards towards unlocking. And indeed, if you look on the battles, sometimes they'll be fielding the Machine of War against you. And as you can see, we'll get some valuable munitions from these as well, but only for the first time we get the required number of medals. If we were to redo this at a later date, because we may have already 3-medaled it, we won't get these rewards again. However, as you can see with the tooltip, you can go through the entire tier again and get the rewards from each crate again. And once you complete a run, doesn't matter if you manage to get all the medals or not, we'll have a look at that in a second, you'll get an ending run screen. So it's congratulations, you've completed this difficulty tier. Now in this run, to come back to the tier selection screen, and from there you can play the next difficulty tier for greater rewards, or replay the lower tiers to collect the crates once more and try to score more medals. So if we look in here again at 15, you can see because I let Morvenval die, I can still get these 2 additional medals. For the rest of them, I'll only get coins, but I can collect the crates. So the reason why I let Morvenval die was basically to find out in the next tier would she be available, and yes she is. So what this means is only for the specific run you are doing, characters stay dead. And I guess from the wording of the actual missions, this makes sense, as you can redo a tier level, and it really wouldn't make sense if you couldn't have the characters that have already died. So this is a nice little addition, just to make sure that once you hit that plateau of not being able to get any further, you can still retry and try and get those extra medals you may have missed before. Now, as I said before, each time you start a tier, it will use a token, and you can only have a maximum of 3 tokens, so make sure you keep on top of that so you don't max out. So you want to try and complete all 15. However, if at any point you want to end the run, you can just click the end run and it will warn you. If you end this run, it will allow you to start a new run from the beginning at any available tier. You keep all the medals and rewards that you've earned, even after starting another run in this tier. And when you start a new run, here you go, all your characters will be available to you again at full health. Now bear in mind, if you end the run, you will need to wait for this token to become available before you can start a new one. We've seen how to choose the machine of war you want to get, and indeed how to unlock it by going through the missions. But what about the munitions it uses? Well, you get that from the missions themselves in the Incursion and also in daily deals. And it's also worth pointing out that you can only have a maximum of 200. Any exceeding that will be lost. The downside is it's going to cost 250 Blackstone for 10. So yes, if you want to use that rocket battery, you're going to be needing Blackstone to do so. Now it could still be that these munitions will drop elsewhere, but at this price, I don't think they're going to be very frequent. The choice is yours. If you like these videos, then it would be much appreciated if you at least think about using my friend code, as it really does help me out. Or if you or your guilds are looking for a new home, please reach out to any of the guilds shown, as we'll always welcome new people into our midst. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the battlefield.